Coreyemmah here.
Hi, it's Zorana.
And we are meeting again over Messenger, over the Skype call. And we will talk today in our astrology session about the moon and about its role in our chart and about another lovely, interesting stuff around the moon. Because the moon, as I've just heard, is really important in our chart. So Zorana, tell us something for the start about the moon in general.
Okay, so the moon is very important in our chart because moon represents our soul. So that's the first thing, at least, that I learned about the moon. It represents soul and it represents mother. So these two things are the first one that we learn about the moon, and they're also the most important one. So it is like a female archetype, but archetype of a mother, of a woman becoming mother, and also, you know, like a three phases. It's like maiden, mother, and yeah. So the moon as soul would be our unconscious parts of our personality, unconscious part in the chart, and that is what influences us the most, because we can take we can have some sort of control over our sun, over our conscious expression, but we cannot control the moon. So moon is literally out of our control. So it also, as we know, represents feelings, emotions, kindness, a capacity to take care of others, capacity to take care of yourself, nurturing, basically all things that we connect with the mother archetype are connected with the moon. Moon is telling us what kind of mother, if we are females, what kind of mother can we be, and in general, what kind of mother was our mom, what kind of love we got, and how did we learn to give. So it's about giving and receiving, but not in like a Venus, you know, romantic type, but this is more life preserving giving and receiving, because if a sun is like a giver of life, moon is reflecting the sun's light, so moon is reflecting this gift of life. So how do we respond? How do we react to life itself? That is described by the moon in our chart.
So it's like feelings that are coming and taught to us basically through that income from our mothers, and then how we as women will act like mothers. And also, is it for men something like the archetype of mother that they are searching for when they are searching for the partner? Is it mirroring for them in this way then?
Yes, because we basically repeat some of the things that we learned as children. So what we learned about relationships and love, we kind of search for the same or similar patterns in other people. So even if, for example, you are adopted child, moon would be representing your biological mother, but also your foster parents. So it would be both representing your biological mother, but also what kind of love, nurturing, and care you actually received in real life, because that's how you learned about these things, and you will repeat these things. Moon is also cycle, all kinds of cycles, habits, and our behavior that is repeating, and we are not conscious about those habits and that type of behavior.
Yeah, you sent me a list of all the different meanings that moon can bring us to our chart, even though we've decided that we will mention only the main points, but I will definitely put the list into the video so everyone can make some notes maybe, or dig deeper in that kind of area that the moon is affecting. Would you say that moon has nearly the same importance as the sun? So is the sun the unconscious, the conscious mind, and the moon the unconscious mind, and with ascendant, these three together, are they nowadays the most important, let's say, even though of course we know that every single aspect and every planet in their signs and houses have their role, but are these the first that we are looking at?
Yes, I would say that sun and moon and ascendant are the most important points in our chart. Like, of course, ascendant would be, I would put that as a first point that is the most important, and then following by sun and moon, which work together. Sun and moon symbolics is connected. Sun would represent like a young part of energy, a conscious order, life-giving kind of male archetype father in the chart, while moon would be yin, chaos, dark, unconscious, female mother archetype in the chart. So they work together. We cannot only have one, and we are very unbalanced if one of these are very, very, prominent in the chart and the other one is kind of under the carpet. They have to be in balance. That's, having a happy marriage between mother and father in the chart.
Yeah, I would just mention, so since the sun and the moon basically work kind of together, so that based on the placing of the sun and the moon in the chart, we can also get our moon phase to find out in which phase was the moon on the sky when we were born, and we can also use it in our magic practice, in our self-development and learning about ourselves as well. And I hope that I will be able to make a video on that topic soon, so hopefully it is already online when this talk will be online, so I will post it here in one of the corners into the video. And I wanted to work on it in Czech, but as well in the same time I believe that I have some materials on it in English, so I might just put again some picture in the video. Yeah, so except the moon phases, the moon of course goes through the signs, and the signs are about 30 degrees while the moon phases are about 45 degrees in our chart. And when the moon is going through the signs, he's going kind of fast, I believe, because of he's moving fastest. He's the closest one to the earth, and in the same time he's moving quite fast through the houses. So based on that, I wanted to ask you what basically happens when the moon appears somewhere kind of between the houses, on the very end of the house or on the very beginning of the house. What if we have moon or some other planet or the heavenly body on that kind of point? Do we count with it as with something that is in that one house, or do we also work with the house that it is very close to?
Thank you for that question. Yes, the moon is the fastest heavenly body that we have in astrology. It moves approximately between 12 and 13 degrees per day, which means that he can, in 2 or 3 days, he can basically change the whole sign and go through the entire house. So when you have moon or any other planet at the end of the house, and we are talking here precisely 5 degrees or less, so 5 degrees or less towards the end of the house and the beginning of the another next house, you will take it either as something that planet is telling you about event or energy towards the end of your life, because you take house as the entire story about something in your life. So story has beginning, middle, and end. If the planet is at the end, this is something that is affecting you at the end of the story, end of your life. Or you're taking that planet 5 degrees or less, so 1, 2, 3 is very exact close conjunction. You will take it if it is in the same sign as the next house. You can take it as it is in the next house. So for example, if you have moon in Taurus in 4th house at the end, and your 5th house is also starting in Taurus, you can take it if it's 3 to 1 degrees, 4 degrees towards the beginning of the 5th house, you can take it that it is there. Also, if it is close to one of the most important points, angles, so either 1st, 7th, 4th, or 10th house, if it is the same sign as the next house, you can take it for the next house.
Yeah, so these 4 houses are ascendant, descendant, and then I don't know how to pronounce these qualities.
medium coeli and imum coeli.
Yeah. Okay. So by these, but it always has to be in the same sign as
Yeah.
the other house, because
Yes,
as we know, the houses are not exactly matching the signs. That would not be enough fun then.
yeah. So that's something that I forgot to mention you when we were talking, but yeah, it has to be the same sign to be counted in the next house, because it's the same type of energy. It would not be same if you have something in Cancer and then your next house is starting with Leo. Obviously, it's the starting point is already Leo, so whatever is in Cancer will not actually influence your story there. But if you have Leo moon close to Leo next house, you can interpret it also that it is affecting that house.
Okay, we could maybe move to the like strengths through different signs for the moon, based on dignities, or the chart of dignities that you were showing me before the video we started.
Yeah, so I would mention dignities of the moon, because moon is very important, and I think it's just useful to know the points of moon where it is strong or damaged. So we know that moon rules by the sign of Cancer. It means that its home is in Cancer. So it feels the best in Cancer, because you will see this list. Most of the things on the list we are already kind of intuitively connecting to the sign of Cancer. We are connecting Cancer to mother, to home, to emotions, to being emotional, being very connected to your home, to feelings of safety and security. Yeah. So this is actually the moon, but we are connecting that with Cancer, because moon is at home with Cancer. Now the other thing is
connected to the archetype of the water in magic, basically. Yeah, this kind of like emotional, but also unconscious part of ourselves. Yeah.
And it is in the watery sign at home. And then moon is exalted in the sign of Taurus, which means that it feels the best in the sign of Taurus. It is very fertile there, because Taurus is fertile earth, so it's about growing, nurturing, also because it is a motherly archetype, becoming mother, being able to give life. Then you have detriment and fall. These would be like a negative dignities of the moon. So fall, the word itself says it's in the fall, it's fallen from the grace, and this is the signs of Scorpio and Aries. So in Scorpio and moon in Aries are in the fall. And if you think about symbolics of these two signs, it can be very clear why is that so. Aries is actually Mars ruled sign, and Mars and moon don't like each other. It's very different sort of energies that we're talking about. So moon
and fire.
Yeah, so a fire fight, a principle that is looking to harm or to damage, to defend or to attack, while moon is all about, healing and nurturing and making you feel safe and taking care of. So it's completely the opposite of Mars. And the same is for Scorpio, because Scorpio traditionally was ruled by Mars. Now, detriment is the sign of Capricorn. So if the moon is in the sign of Capricorn, we say it's damaged moon. And Capricorn is completely the opposite sign of Cancer. So it's the opposite values of the Cancer. You can say that Capricorn moon would be closed, cold. The capacity for giving and receiving is very, very small. Also, we take, for example, Capricorn in the chart. We take it as a father archetype. It's on the opposite side of the mother. So Capricorn would give you structure, would give you responsibility, authority, laws and all of that. But it wouldn't give you maybe emotional support, feeling of safety, nurturing, and stuff that you would expect from moon and Cancer and motherly archetype. That's why it is in detriment in the sign of Capricorn. And we also know that Capricorn is not really the sign of emotional expressiveness, and it's not sign of showing your inner world to another. It's very closed sign because it's ruled by Saturn, and Saturn makes moon very cold and closed and kind of like something that goes back inside, not something that you would show other. It's not like water that you would pour it and it would go to other people. It's earth, so it would be very kind of strict and cold and not. I'm looking for a perfect expression. Rigid.
Rigid. Yeah. And how about, so basically the moon kind of is not the best friend with Saturn and with Mars. But you mentioned also that the moon is in fall in Scorpio, but Scorpio is as well like watery sign. So what happens there? Is Scorpio too wild or passionate or showing, expressing the unconscious, or how does it Scorpio lead the wrong way in?
Okay, so the Scorpio would be because it traditionally was ruled by Mars. And in modern, it's ruled by Pluto, you know, the underground god. So it is, the moon is still damaged there. I know it is the watery sign. It has a lot to do with intuition and unconscious, as any other watery sign like Cancer and Pisces. But moon is a very sensitive point in the chart. It's the most sensitive, the most kind. It's basically the soul of the chart. If you don't want, you can have moon in Scorpio and still be kind, nurturing kind of person. You're not like evil, walking evil. Scorpio. But it does show that love was not given to you in a way that is the healthiest of always. So the moon in Scorpio could be the mother that is trying to control you, that is giving you love with some conditions attached to that love, or is trying to, or is obsessive, or if you are Scorpio moon, your love could be kind of coming with some rules, with some expectations, trying to be controlling of another person, because the moon in Scorpio is not very trusting to other people, and it doesn't feel safe there.
Yeah, while on the opposite sign, when it's in the Taurus,
it's exalted. It is exalted, so it is on the throne. The moon is kind of, it is supported by the Taurus, because the Taurus is about growing things. So it is nurturing it in itself, while Scorpio is at the point where we, like the symbolic of Scorpio is of learning how to let go, learning how to die, learning how to destroy something or be transformed. And it is in the chart, it's correlated to 8th house, which is like that in the chart. So there, it's not the best possible position for the moon to be in the Scorpio.
Okay, then I believe that we just mentioned a few quite interesting things about the moon, at least for the start, and we wanted to talk also about the nodes, because they are somehow connected to the moon, and I will just quickly mention also Lilith, because the nodes are the northern and the southern node are both points which are counted, which are like numeral points that are not like actual bodies in the sky, and the same type is Lilith, which is basically kind of a dark side of the moon, the shadowy side of that unconscious part of ourselves. And with this one, I was making a video on that topic as well, so I will again post it into the video. Again, it's in Czech language, so I apologize to our subscribers and viewers who are watching us in English. But maybe, who knows, one day maybe we will talk about this topic as well. But let's dive into those nodes, because those are really, really interesting for me, because I never knew basically what are they doing there. I just know that they are always on the opposite side of the chart to each other, and that's all. And that they have something in common with dragon. That is like a dragon head and dragon tail. So which is which, and so on.
Okay, so nodes that you're talking about are called lunar nodes or nodes of the moon, and these are calculated. So these are the points where the moon is crossing or intercepting the ecliptic when he's going around the Earth. So these are calculated, they're not actual objects in the sky, and they're called dragon head and tail. Mm-hmm. And the north node would be the dragon head, and the south node would be the dragon tail. And these are important because in like evolutionary astrology, they're talking about past life and some karmic baggage that we that in karmic relationships. They're always looked through the nodes. So your south node, the dragon tail, would be what you brought in this life with you when you came here. It is something that you already know on some level. You know this, you own this, and it's very easy for you to access these things, the things of your south node. Because if you believe in past lives, we would say this was your past life. It's a story of your past life is in the south node. Now, north node would be your task in this life, why you came here, your purpose. So it's similar as MC, if you remember when we were talking about that, we were saying, oh, it's the purpose. But this is basically why are you here? What do you have to learn in this life? That is your north node. It's like your destiny for this life. And the south node was destiny of your past life, and they're exactly opposite always. So if your south node is in Leo, your north node is in Aquarius. So you came with the knowledge of something, and you're here to obtain exactly the opposite.
Yeah, so basically we come here and we have one side of the paper, and we need to write on the other side of the paper the exactly opposite stuff that we've learned before. Yes. I have a question, kind of philosophical. When is it like this, that they go from one point to another point? Will it be in my next life, if we will believe in past lives and next lives? Will I start on that point where I finished this life?
I don't know. That's something that we can only guess. But I would say, like, if we will take this past life story, so I would say that you are now developing what was underdeveloped before. So you came with something. If you already know something, that is your strength. So you came with something that you developed in the past, and now that is already yours. You own it, you know it, you can access it, it's yours. But you need to develop a different thing, the thing that was underdeveloped in the past. Or like if you say, if you take Aquarius and Leo story. So let's say in the past life you were Leo. So your south node is in Leo. You know how to be, you know how to express yourself. You know how to gain attention. You know how to be individual. You know how to put your needs on the first place, make them clear, make them loud, go for them, and all of that. But what do you need to learn? You need to learn to be with other people, to be part of the community. You need to come down from your imaginary throne and mingle with other people, be part of humanity, part of some group, part of a brotherhood or a sisterhood, to value others' needs as equally important and to kind of serve others. You were served in past life. You came with this feeling of importance and privilege and all of that, but you need to learn exactly the opposite of that. So
and yes, sorry for stopping, but Also, then I have the question that comes to my mind now. So when we come here with this kind of, let's say, previous experience, and we are going to be learning the opposite experience, I believe that if we will not learn it, you can start somewhere else on the chart. We would have to really finish the lesson to start next life in that point of the chart. That's where my mind went, meanwhile. But also, is it then in a way that the rest of the chart or ourselves, we to us, are creating that space and that, let's say, lesson to learn? Or is it that this is coming to us also from outside, from other people and from the position on which we were born, from like the place where we were born and under which conditions and stuff? Like, is this kind of, let's say, thing that we are supposed to learn coming from our soul, since it is connected with the moon, or is it also being shown to us from everywhere outside, like mirroring our unconscious mind? And I hope it's not too like too airy, because my moon is in the air sign, so that's why I'm getting there this way.
Okay, so I would say it's both. It's both, because what you need to learn is not just some task that is given to you, it is your need. You cannot function if you only have half of something. For example, let's take Capricorn and Cancer, because we were talking about Moon and Capricorn as well. If you came here with South Node in Cancer, so in the past life you were given maybe support, nurturing, safety, love, you were taken care of, you were protected. So you came here with this inner knowledge how it is to be all these things, but you need to learn different. So how to be independent, how to be on your own, how to take care of yourself, how to be adult, how to be, let's say, father archetype if you were mother archetype in the past life. You cannot live fulfilled and complete life if you're only looking to be nurtured, only to be protected, only to be safe, only to be at home, only to be taken care by other people, but never doing something yourself. So it's both your need. You need to complete this. You need to be both opposite signs. But it is also shown to you by other people, because other people, the world will not really support you if you're only being, half. Yeah. It will not fulfill your needs instead of you.
Put our dragon's tail, so the south node, show kind of our true desire in the life, what we really want as a soul. Because that's something that I mention a lot in my studies and at my schools, and that I'm basically teaching people to find what they really want inside, that they don't really want that bag from this super company, that they maybe rather want something like a proper love and this kind of stuff. Could the dragon's tail help us with this as well, to kind of uncover it?
Okay, so if I understood your question correctly, I would take moon for this. And dragon tail is something that you fall into your dragon tail because you feel safe there. So you can say that you desire this, that you want this, but it's not really the best thing for you, because it's something that you already know. It's something
Sorry, I meant it in the opposite way. I meant the head.
The head. Okay, so that is something that you need to develop to kind of be, let's say, completed, to have the grasp of the axis completely, because it's always, the signs are always connected when they're opposite. They are the two sides of a story. So if you have only one, it's just you will not be able to function properly without the other one. You can fall again on your south node when you feel that you have difficult situations in the life. You you switch to your what you already know, where you already feel safe. You kind of switch there. You go back there because that's what you already know. You're on the safe ground there. So, and North Node is always taking a risk. So it's where it's for you undeveloped. It is an area that is unknown. You haven't gone there. You haven't been there. This is completely something new for you, but you really need that. So in life, you will be pushed towards your North Node.
Yeah. We are getting to the car where my first question on the notes were actually, it's basically that. So the tail is our ground that we started on, and to get to the head, we have to cross our comfort zones.
Yes.
And that's something that we are pushed to inside of ourselves. We have a desire for it, but when we don't go willingly and dig for it and work for it, the stuff that is around us, the situations that are cycling around and stuff, are basically pushing us towards it anyway. Yeah, so it's not that much about the desire, but rather about the real self-development.
It's a need to do that. Also, when we are talking about the nodes and past lives, we can mention that if, in relationships, you know how it's very popular to say, oh, we are the soulmates and we have that kind of connection from the past life. If your partner has planets connecting your south node, that could mean that you had some sort of past experience together. If he's, on the other hand, connecting the north node, that would be more like in this life you have a task to go to do together. You have some sort of purpose together in this life, but this is completely new for both of you. If it's the other way, so south node, that could mean past experience together, something that is unfinished, something that you need to do together to kind of finish that story, clear what happened before. So yes, the soulmate past life connection is connected to south node.
Could it also be connected to some other person with whom we don't have everything clear?
Yes. So now I took this example because it's most common, and the most interesting is always your romantic partner. But yes, you can have another people on your south node, which would mean that you have some sort of unfinished business with them.
That's quite interesting. Would it then mean a possibility? I'm so much future focused. Would it then mean a possibility that if we have the north node, the head, with someone kind of touching someone's chart, that we could meet up again in the next life? It would work the same way, basically.
Yes. So if
we maybe might be again in that question if we will start our next life on our current north node.
Yes. So if you
don't get to that place.
So if you don't finish your task, if you don't fulfill your purpose here, now in the terms of past and next life, so for the people who are believing in this, yes, you would this would be unfinished for you, so you would come with some unfinished things in this life. So your south node, when I say the south node is what you know, it could be what is your unfinished business from the past. That's it could be your strength and your weakness in the same time. So it is your weakness if you continue only to hang in the south node area, and if you don't go for that north node, if you don't go from the bottom to the top, it is a weakness for you. It is a strength if you use it to get on the opposite side.
That's great. And I have another question, another philosophical question. How would you connect these nodes, so this line through our chart, this way how the stars are leading us, basically, would you connect it to destiny or fate?
Yes, I would. And I would connect moon with the destiny, definitely, a lot. Maybe most out of all the planets, I would connect moon with the destiny.
Okay, well, I think that we covered everything that I have here in my notes. I made some notes meanwhile as well. So thank you very much for the talk on the moon and this brilliant talk on the notes, which got a bit philosophical, but I believe that it was really interesting. And thank you and see you soon. So
thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Pokud se vám video líbilo, tak neváhejte dát like a odebírat můj kanál a při odběru nezapomeňte kliknout na malý zvoneček vedle hlavního tlačítka, abyste ode mě měli všechny informace z první ruky. Taky mě můžete sledovat na Instagramu nebo se ke mně připojit na Facebooku a pokud byste měli nějaký dotaz, tak mi neváhejte napsat na můj e-mail a kdybyste se chtěli dozvědět něco více o mých kurzech, tak navštivte moje stránky. Moji tvorbu můžete také podpořit skrze PayPal nebo Ko-fi, na které najdete odkazy dole pod videem.